and welcome to my channel. I'm Agnelina and today I'm filming second episode of my knitting podcast and I'm excited to share my knitting journey with you guys. So recently I bought two filming lights which will help me to film in the evenings after work because Norwegian nights are really long and dark. And my idea now is trying to film around once a month knitting podcast, or sometimes I iterate if I feel like I have nothing to share, maybe knit and chats, maybe try to style my knits video. I have at least idea for that. I don't know if people are interested in it or not. I am also really excited since the end of year is coming to film what I made this year. I remember a few years ago when I saw it, I was just so fascinated by the idea that there are people who are creating their own wardrobes, sewing, knitting. It doesn't matter. I was watching those videos. And sometimes, of course, it felt like some people doing fast fashion. If they knit 50 t-shirts or 50 dresses, you start questioning when you're wearing it, or I don't know if all these fancy ball gowns in 2020, do you really need it? But yeah, overall I feel still excited about all of these videos and I really want to share, and I'm trying not to feel guilty that I will not have enormous amount to share because that's not healthy. I want my wardrobe to be intentional and my knits to be intentional, and I'm excited to share. Even for some people it could be not enough, but that's for the future plans. Let's get into today's topic. So what I'm wearing my first ever raglan sweater. It is improv sweater. I have no idea what I'm doing. So before I knitted this sweater, I knitted two baby garments to see. I don't have a baby, I'm not pregnant, but I wanted to see the constructions, and baby sizes are so small, so you can knit really fastly and see what turned out. So I knitted those and I was just, let's try to make something for myself. This is what I was feeling so inspired to do and I really wanted to do. So I decided to do it, and the baby cardigan I knitted was top down. I think it was raglan. Even at that point I didn't know that it was raglan. But what those knits told me, at least, that cardigan pattern was written for bulky yarn, and I just took the yarn I had, and it was totally not bulky yarn. I think it was DK weight. So it turned out way too small, and I think I was knitting maybe 6 months, for size 6 months old. When I measured, it is on the edge of fitting newborn. So I learned a lesson that you need to swatch, and I bought a yarn for the sweater 10 years ago. The idea was that I bought one magazine, and it was pattern for a dress. It was like seaside dress. It was with white and blue stripes. And I started to knit it, and then I never finished it. As it happens when you're a teenager and you have too many interests. But yeah, so I measured what I knitted 10 years ago for the sweater. I remember to know my gauge, and of course I didn't know with which needle size I was knitting that, and in 10 years your gauge can change. So apparently it was different. So even when I tried to calculate with the blog post I found on the internet, the first time I knitted it, it was way too loose. So this was, and I almost finished all the body, and then I had to remove almost everything up to almost the neck around here, and I reknitted the body twice. And it's still not the perfect fit, but it's way better than it was before. And I was so proud of this sweater that I made it, that it is nice and it is warm. The yarn I bought 10 years ago, but it is 50% wool, 50% acrylic. And I think acrylic makes that it is stretchy. It stretched out a little bit, and I feel like it probably may still stretch. At least I hear in one knitting podcast that acrylic yarn stretches quite a lot. So I guess the acrylic part makes it stretch. But yeah, 50% wool, 50%, and that 50% wool makes it so warm and so nice. So 50% wool, 50% acrylic, 100 grams, 300 meters, and by my gauge on size, recommended size for needles was 17 stitches in 10 centimeters, which is almost RM weight. Even I don't know how to know if it is which weight. I even made myself a little cheat sheet about those weights, because watching other YouTube knitting podcasts or reading on the internet what people did, and they DK weight, whatever. What means DK weight for me? So now at least know that DK weight is 8 ply or light in some languages. So yeah, I think this by stitches. It is mostly 17 stitches in 10 centimeters are mostly probably RM weight. I have no idea how to put yarn in those categories. So I'm trying my best. If someone knows, let me know how to know which weight or category that your yarn is. But what is most important, which needle size and how many stitches you are getting, at least in my opinion, the gauge, swatch. And everything else is just small details for better communicating with you guys. So yeah, I wrongly gauge swatched. I needed to reknit the body, and after some time, after blocking, since the first I had to destroy what I was knitted, it was maybe a square like this. I destroyed, I started knitting, and then the stitches looked uneven, so I thought, oh okay, I learned now about blocking, I will try blocking, that will solve problems. But apparently when I was knit and purl, so when I was purling, I was twisting the stitches, so until I joined in the round, my stitches are quite more, I know, every second row is twisted, so they look different, not cohesive. This was the main issue about the sweater, which was at first bothering me. At first I didn't understand why I have those islands. It is quite see-through in the increases raglan, like I see, and they are so holy around it. So apparently when you do yarn over and don't twist it, you get holes. I learned that. Then I learned how to avoid the huge holes next to connecting sleeves that people suggest, collect few around it and then reduce in those 2 stitches or something like that. So I tried it on my newest finished object, which I will show you a little bit later. Do I remember what else? So I think at least sleeve count stitches was good, and then I reduced a little bit and then I left longer. I was expecting this rib pattern to cinch in a little bit more, but it didn't cinch up that much, so I was a little bit surprised about it. But now I know better that they grow and fulfill, and yes, this was the design. I designed it in a way. As I said, I found improvisation instructions, then I read in one blog post, and I read, because I have too many questions, few other things, and I just decided to run and go and try my best. So this was my first sweater, and I still really love it. I wear it this year, and when I show it to my mom, and of course neckline, I would like to make it better next time. So when I showed this to my mom, she said, when you get tired of it, give it to me, gift it to me, don't give it to anyone else. So this was the first idea about gifting it. And after the sweater, I finished one red cable sweater. I wore it in the first episode. And now I'm knitting my third sweater, and before starting my third sweater, I decided that I want to gift for a Christmas gift to my grandmother a sweater, since she's 86-year-old and I have no idea how much time I have left with her, and I really want to knit her something so she could still wear for multiple years and enjoy and feel loved. She was the one who taught me how to knit, and she now cannot do it because I think her fingers maybe lose the flexibility or locked view. I don't know what it is, but yeah, it's sad to think that one day I will live in this world without my grandmother. So I really want to knit her a sweater. So, and I had for this yarn left over. As I said, I bought this yarn for a dress, and then I was estimating how much yarn I need for the sweater and had no previous experience about sweater quantities. The internet told me that I might need 150 meters, so this is why I switched to colors, because I was not sure if I have enough, and at that time I didn't even have a kitchen scale. Now I have, so now I feel like master I don't know, in calculating the yarn, at least this yarn, because this is not the last knit I made from this kind of yarn. But yeah, at that time I didn't have an idea, so this is why I decided that it has to be 2 colors, because I have 2 colored balls. So I knitted the first sweater. I really enjoyed making one row, one black, not black, one blue, one white, so it gives a little bit more diffusion, not such a really strong line. Yeah, but it does really raglan sweater. But as I said, this sweater my mom is called dibs on it, so I decided just to try to reduce my stash and knit almost exact same sweater, because I'm not knitting it for myself. At least the idea is to give both of these sweaters to my grandmother and to my mother, unless they want to switch, because this sweater, the second sweater, I fixed the fit. Now it fits perfectly. I calculated the perfect stitch count I need for the arms, for the body. It is not that deep, so like the hair, it's a little bit too much, especially when I guess when the sleeves are more fitted. This really loose, armpit. I don't know. It's just comfy, cozy sweater. Not perfect whatsoever, but it could be better. So I'm knitting this one, as the better version, and I feel like it is. But I watched too much Arrow, Knits and Pearls podcast videos to know that some people really hate a tight neckline. So this sweater totally doesn't have it. I feel like it's too loose, not maybe that beautiful, too wobbly maybe. So this is why I knitted in this more beautiful neckline. But I'm not sure if my mom or grandmother can have the sensitivity around the neck, so maybe they want to switch the sweaters, because it's almost the same, at least the same design, almost the same design. It's the same colors, but for the neck, but for the new sweater, for the raglan increases, I added this beautiful braided detail, like a hair braid for cable knit, and even managed to do it without a cable needle, because I was too lazy to take it. Even I recently bought it, so I now want to use it. Whatever, just I can just maybe better wiggle in between two stitches to create this pattern. In one way it was easier than in another way, but yeah, so it has this beautiful design, folded neckline, twisted rib for the neck, and now for the button and for the sleeves. If I would knit the sweater for myself, I most likely would do the balloon sleeves, because I'm so excited about making balloon sleeves. But I would think that my mom would think that it is not cool, like all stylish or whatever. And I have no idea what my grandmother likes. And in a way, I'm doing the sweater calculated for my body type, since I think, at least for my mom, she really liked it, that this is a little bit maybe loose, it's not, that strong fitted, and both of them are shorter than I am, and both of them weight less than me, so I believed if the sweater would fit me on them, it will be even more cozy, comfy fitting. And if they really don't like, or at least one of them don't want a sweater, I can still wear it. So yeah, this is my explanation or why I'm knitting size me. But yeah, so just almost finish up the body, just ribbon left, so it is really similar. I, in a way, changing colors, I made it better in this sweater because I overdo this one and I almost did the exact same count number under the arm. Just because for this sweater I was so excited to switch to the blue color and then to do a little bit body shaping just to add some, I don't know, shaping that the sweater maybe flow a little bit nicer, to have, you know, a little bit. So in 4 rounds separated around 5 rows, I decreased from both sides on each side. So on each side -2 and -2, so it's -4 in one round, and then increased all of that back a little bit below. So it should, yeah, so it's a really good fit, at least when I've tried it. So yeah, I'm really excited to see how I progress and that my knitting becomes better and better. So this is really nice way to test it out. This was, you know, I started this sweater maybe even around 1 year ago or 11 months ago. So I started this sweater 11 months ago. I knitted one more sweater in between. I knitted a few more things. So I feel like I really improved by knitting this one. I can see improvements, and it was so nice to see, even see all imperfections in this one. So it's really still cozy. I still enjoying this one, but I'm really excited to give those both sweaters as a gift to my mom and grandmother, and hopefully they will enjoy and wear and be happy. If not, I'm taking it back. And another way why I'm giving away, I get a little bit tired of this design of this pattern, knitting it twice, and this body well, once more. I get a little bit bored with it, and in another way I don't have that much space in my wardrobe, so I'm thinking, since I have more yarn bought, you know, and more knits to welcome in my life, I'm thinking maybe I should try to, you know, spread the joy. Few sweaters giving away this on this Christmas, and then keeping another sweater I knitted this year for myself, and having a little bit more space for new sweaters to come in for the next year. So at least this is my reasoning why I'm doing what I'm doing. So yeah, so going to the finished object, I finished this dress from in the last month. It is almost a month passed in between filming those first episode and the second. So I finished this dress. I don't remember. Oh, I think I needed to re-knit the body from the last time I saw you guys. Did I need? Was it? I think I just needed to re-knit the body because I failed to calculate correctly. But now the dress is finished. So this is the Christmas. I am saying. So okay, this is the Christmas gift for my niece, at least it will be. It's just missing a button. Design is Drops Design Woodland Fairy, and I knitted the my soul, but small size smallest, so it was 3 to 4 years. I had to recalculate the stitch count for my yarn type. It's the same yarn, just different color. And this was leftover yarn for my red cable sweater. So I stash busted it, and I have 27 grams left of this red yarn. And I was thinking maybe to do some fingerless gloves, but then by internet estimations I would need 50 grams of it, so it wouldn't be enough just for one of them. So now I don't know what I will do with that yarn. But yeah, so for this dress, this exactly same yarn, it will be my niece's gift. So yeah, what I changed a little bit. So I knitted straight the body part and then flared the skirt. So I started to increase this not immediately after, armpit, but a little bit below. And I also made a buttonhole or keyhole for the neck, since what I know, or at least I was informed that kids really hate something when it is putting through their head, so I decided to make for a little girl as comfy as possible, because I want a little girl to enjoy this dress. And when I knitted this, I wanted a girl for myself so badly. But no, I'm giving it as a gift for my niece as planned. And if I will have a girl, I will knit her a dress. And I may knit a dress for myself in the, I don't know, year or two. At least I really love dresses, and I think that would be really amazing dress. And in a way, this is where I also learned about this balloon sleeves. They're so charming, so adorable, and so easy to knit. Just knit straight and then just reduce to the cuff size so you have charming sleeves. So yeah, I like this dress. So yeah, I talked about my finished object, I talked about my whip, and another work I'm starting sort of is my fade top by Gardeners Design. So apparently after filming the first episode I got to know that first it was Gardeners Design, I said Drops Design, and second of all I noticed that it was just in Norwegian language, so sent a letter to the Drops, can I get this design, Drops, to the Gardeners, can I get the design in English, and apparently they replied to me, sorry, we don't have it in English. Then I checked that this garden shop is, at least has in it is in Denmark, it is in Sweden, it is in Norway, with online shorts, and it's not in English speaking countries. So apparently I needed to translate for myself, but it is not difficult design, at least what I noticed, and I little do a gauge swatch. So yeah, this is the right side. Just to see what gauge I'm getting, now to see how the yarn works, how, you know, fluffy, not fluffy. Since I think I will change it a little bit, not that much, but to make it a little bit fit better. So the design is to knit purl 4, and you start, it is bottom up raglan, so you start from the bottom, knit upwards. Design is really not complicated, so it wasn't that difficult to translate it, and seeing the image of the finished garment was also letting me easier to decide, do they mean to knit to purl, because it was translated, I think, knit and knit, and I just know when it has to be purl if you're doing the rib pattern. So that helped me to figure it out. So the only thing I think I will do a little bit body shaping. So I will start as they suggest. I will a little bit reduce and a little bit, you know, extend. I do the same thing as to my second sweater. And then I will knit as they suggest. I think I will knit size large, and I think I was thinking about prolonging the sleeves, but I bought exactly the same yarn, you know, balls of yarn they recommend, so most likely I don't have enough to extend the sleeves. So yeah, extend the sleeves, so most likely I will just knit, and then I need, if I extending the sleeves, I need to, you know, it is reducing this stitch count, so I need to calculate that. So I'm not sure, maybe I'll leave it, you know, warm. Oh yes, the yarn is, even took the ball, Woodland Baby Merino. It was, I think, cinnamon color, or it's 160 color. It is 75% merino wool and 25% polyamide, I think. Yes, merino and polyamide. Yeah, I will knit. I knit this the size 3 needles, and yes, I maybe didn't mention, but this was knitted with size 4 needles. I'm not sure if I mentioned or not, but yeah, going back with the topic that I don't want to have yarn left over, and now, as I may mentioned or not, or made it obvious or not, but I'm trying stash busting this yarn I bought 10 years ago, so it was red color, it was white color, I have a blue color. 10 years ago I also bought, I think, green color, but I'm not sure, do I have it still in Lithuania or not, because when I brought it, you know, white, blue and red. And I also brought this glove. I needed to finish it, so I finished the second layer this year, but it has 2 layers, and I ran out of this lighter blue yarn, because as you can see, it's not exactly the same color. So this is why this has different color. since I don't have a CR anymore and I don't think I can buy and I don't want to buy. So now I'm quite sad that I try to, what I hate then, you know, if you wash and the glove becomes no separate, and then it's so difficult to make the thumb go, two thumbs go inside of each other. So I think I stitched them together because I thought if I could do it, I could still remove some yarn from this one and at least knit the second glove in dark blue and made those two parts light blue. But I don't even have light blue for this part, and I'm not sure if I have enough yarn left after knitting the second sweater for second glove. So if I have enough blue yarn, most likely I will knit the second mitten similar like this, just with a darker color, and I may give it to my mom because I think she will use it anyways, going not in the city but maybe in the village, going for long walks in the forest. So I think that would be, you know, charming and maybe lovely for her, and she didn't care that much. Or if I will run from the blue yarn, so even I think this weighs around 50 grams, so around 150 meters of yarn I need, so this is the same yarn. I may knit the second mitten from red yarn or even white, but I would prefer to knit it from the red one and then try to dye it black. And then, you know, it will be black pair of mittens, so it wouldn't take then that color difference that one blue, one red will not care that much. But yeah, in a way I think at least if I have blue yarn enough for that top layer, I may knit maybe cuff in blue from the wrong, you know, inner side, and then we'll knit you know, the hidden layer in red or white. I still will totally have enough white leftovers, and then I will knit, you know. Camera died. Hopefully I'm back and I can finish it up. But as I was talking, so idea is try to knit a second mitten for this one, to stash past my yarn, since it is same weight, same warmth, so even if I don't have the same color, I may try to dye it to make it the same color or same-ish color. Yeah, and I'm not passionate of knitting small things, but I'm passionate of trying to get rid of all of my you know, leftover yarn. So, you know, don't be wasteful, to knit as many nice things as possible from it, and then even if I don't need it anymore, then, you know, share the warmth of wool with friends and family. So hopefully they appreciate it. So that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching, and I'm hoping to see you next time. Bye!